Hey guys, it's Dwayne, founder and CEO of Influence Seminars, and in this video I want to talk about how to sell more consistently and predictably, no matter what it is you sell, inside, outside, big product, small product, long lead time, short lead time, whatever the case might be. And here's a hint: all the sales training and the selling skills and the product knowledge that all the gurus out there tell you are important are simply not enough anymore. And now, if you're crushing it with what you're doing consistently, you're meeting and exceeding your numbers and your quota, this may not serve. This may not be for you. Again, I think I lost my connection. If you're crushing it in your quota, this may not serve. However, stay tuned, because what I share in this may serve somebody you know, and you'll be able to pass it along to them. By the way, if I can be of service or help to you and helping you sell more consistently, if you're a sales manager or a sales VP or even a salesperson, reach out to me. Go over to www.influenceseminars.com. But let me jump in here to this topic. By the way, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a 27-year sales veteran. Let me make sure I got that number right. 24-year sales veteran. I'm not that old. 24-year sales veteran, 14 years formally in sales, then went into business myself, speaker, trainer, and coach, and been selling ever since. That's what I do. And so I deal with big accounts, small accounts, little accounts, everything in between. And so I'm in the trenches with you guys every single day. And companies that are successful, sales teams that are successful, reach out to me because they're doing great, but there's a gap. Between that product knowledge and that sales training, there's a gap where they're trying to reach ongoing sustainable sales growth, and they're just not able to make it happen. And that's where I specialize. And they ask me all the time, they say, Dwayne, how do we bridge this gap? We're up one month, we're down the next. Sales roller coaster here, profitability is amazing, and all of a sudden crash. We're seasonal. Just all kinds of things, and it's frustrating. Sometimes it's even scary, and I know I've been there, right? So how do you bridge that gap? Well, here's what I tell them. One of the things that you have to do, and it's the whole reason I named my company this, Influence Seminars, is that you must increase your influence, not just with your customers and prospects and the people that you run into and the people who stand in your way and the stakeholders that you can't meet, but your boss, your operations team, and everybody in your company. Because when you do, you have a solid structure, support mechanism, consistency, and relationship that's going to help you to open doors that are going to be closed to you. Because remember, this one simple thing: all opportunity in sales, all opportunity you're ever going to face comes through one thing: people. Right? So we've got to begin to focus on increasing our influence on top of our selling skills. My apologies, I'm starting to lose light here. I don't mean to keep that light in your face. But we've got to increase our influence. And one of the ways that we do that is through negotiating in the sales process. Now, just pause right there, because that probably created one of two reactions. You're like, man, I've been getting killed in negotiating. Or you're like, I don't negotiate. I can't negotiate. I'm not negotiating my price. Or you're like, man, I wish I could negotiate, but I can't. But let me explain. Negotiation is probably about 10% about money, contracts, numbers, dollars and cents. But if you're getting beaten up over dollars and cents, on one level, you're having negotiation problems. So let me address that real quick. Because here's, excuse me, what I want you to understand. I'll use that as an example. If you're ever getting beaten up over price, and you're always being lowballed, and you can't seem to get the customer away from the conversation. Well, how much is it? What's this going to cost me? And they're cost-driven and not value-driven. One way to get that conversation shifted is to head it off at the pass in a negotiations capacity. You see, in negotiations, what we try to do is create, offer, or exchange value in the sales process that aligns. Now, you've heard time and time again, create value, create value, create value. Okay, great. How do you create value? Here's my question. Have you ever tried to do something for a prospect or a customer? Give something, create something, offer something, discount something, only to have them eventually go another direction or go in another company or not really want what you have? What did that do for your time? What did that do for your productivity? How did that make you feel? It sucked, right? Why did it happen? Because the things that you were offering them were not aligned. That's why they were not aligned with what they already valued, right? One of my mentors, Dr. John Maxwell, says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. He says influence is adding value to the lives or businesses of people. But you can't do that unless you understand what it is they value. So when you get in the trenches with them, hang out where they are, where they're comfortable, and you listen, and you become interested instead of trying to be interesting, as I once heard somebody said, all of a sudden the game changes. They open up to you, and even when they're not realizing it, if you'll walk into your accounts, your prospects, your opportunities interested, wanting to understand what they need, what they want, what they expect, what they value more than those dollars and cents. In other words, I like to use this as an extreme example. If it's dollars and cents or the number or the bottom line or the best price, my question to them is, I don't really necessarily ask this because I'm not that blunt, but my underlying question to them is, okay, great, we can give the best price, but what if you get the best price and it blows up? Was the best price worth it? And there's many different versions of that. And we do that in our selling process. But I'm saying, let's head it off the pass and increase our influence by becoming genuinely interested long-term in the person, to the extent that they will open up and just give us everything we need to understand about what it is they value, so that when we position our offer, we lead with aligned value, something they've already told us is more important than the dollars and cents. And that's where negotiating comes into play, because part of negotiating is the exchange of value. What can you give your prospects and your customers that mean everything or a lot to them, but it really costs you nothing or little to nothing? I mean, you could do it all day long, but they love it. If you're interested, you'll find out. And in return, they're going to ask you for things. So what are some of the things that you can give up that don't really cost you anything but mean a lot to them? I think I just said that. And then if you ask for things, make sure it costs little to nothing to them but means a lot to you. So that's where negotiating comes into the equation. And that's part of the influence equation that bridges the gap between selling skills, product knowledge, and ongoing sustainable sales growth. You know, I wish I'd have known this back in the day. Whenever I was in pharmaceutical sales for 8 years, it would have changed the game for me. But I accidentally stumbled across this one time when I was talking to a doctor who wouldn't write my product. And I remember going into that equation or into that office that day with one intention. It was to be interested and understand where the gap was, where he would find interest in what patient he could actually serve with the product I was selling. I walked out that day knowing exactly what it was, saw him 4 weeks later, leveraged that information, and broke down the walls of resistance. You got to increase your influence. You want to bridge that gap. One of the ways to do it is negotiating. If I can be of service, run over to www.influenceseminars.com or send me a message through this page, and we can talk about what's going on with you. I'm glad to strategize with you, spitball, and see if there's a way that we can help you break through to the next level. So Dwayne Huff, Influence Seminars. If you like this, stay tuned. Like the page. You'll see when I go live. Share this with somebody who could benefit from it. And if you're crushing it in your sales number, use this information to guide and lead someone who's up and coming. Reach back, give back. We'll talk soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.